Hey guys, welcome back to Paradise. So today I just wanted to bring you one of major tips that we've learned along the way, and we've learned this the hard way. And so if you're going to be out there nomading, especially if you're going to be boondocking and out in the middle of nowhere like we are all the time, this is something you're going to need to bring. It's actually free, but you definitely need to bring it with you if you plan on being off-road. So lately we've been popping a lot of tires, and so first thing is just make sure you know where your spare tire is, how to get it off, how to change your tire, all that things. Next off, make sure you know where your jack is and all that stuff, so it's not a stressful situation if you do pop a tire. So I have an F-150 and it just comes with a scissor jack. Not a very good jack, and especially for boondocking, because it just has a big bolt that goes through it and it tightens up and it raises the jack. So it works, but after a while it will break down on you, because being out in these elements, there's so much sand and debris and stuff that gets into the gears or the bolt threads that it won't turn anymore, and mine completely junked out. So best thing for you to do is actually to get yourself at least a hydraulic jack like that. It's a lot nicer, works a lot easier too. If you can, just bring a floor jack. That would be the best bet. The thing I want to talk to you about today is to bring yourself a nice board. You definitely need a board to make yourself a nice level surface in order to work on, because we have had so many times where we pop a tire and you're in sand or just gravel or anything, and it's just not solid, and the jack actually goes down into the ground instead of jacking the vehicle up. So let me flip the camera around here and I'll show you how we do our setup. So currently this is what we have. We got just a 2-ton jack stand. These are just at Walmart. You don't need anything too fancy, but just make sure that it extends high enough to get to your vehicle, and then get yourself a hydraulic jack. This is a 6-ton. It's a little more than I needed, but it was actually the same price as the littler ones. And make sure you get one that has the top that screws up, because that gives you a lot more height as well. Because if you just used it like this, it actually doesn't even get high enough to get to the frame of the truck. So you need to make sure to have one like that. And I actually just had this experience a couple weeks ago where the front tire blew out. So it was completely flat. I sliced the sidewall on it, so it went to 0 psi. And so the whole truck was tilted downwards. So I literally couldn't, I usually start jacking the truck up with this thing completely all the way extended up. But actually, since the tire blew, the whole truck, the frame was down. So I literally couldn't even have this up at all. So I stuck this underneath there, jacked it up a little bit. And then that was nice having the jack stand, because in the jack stand, you pull this up to where the truck's at, or truck frame is at. Then you can lock it and then lower the jack down, then screw this up, and then you can jack it up higher. So I was like, if I didn't have that, I don't know what I would have done there. So definitely get yourself a jack stand. But so yeah, as you can see here, I got lots of marks from the jack stand and everything like that. So usually what I do is I just put the jack on one side, just try to make as level of surface as possible, and then put your jack on one spot, and then your jack stand kind of as close as possible to your jack, and then you have a nice solid space, because as you see the bottom of that, there's like that's going to dig right into the ground, and even that digs into the ground. So you need to have some sort of board that's big enough to fit a jack and a jack stand, and you can just shove this anywhere, obviously. And it does come in handy if you get stuck or anything. You can use that for traction and stick it under your tire and everything. So you can use it for other things, and it also works good for leveling the truck if you need just to boost up your truck a little bit. So the thicker the board, the better in that case scenario. So just make sure, yeah, you get a decent thickness. That's probably like a 3/4 inch piece of plywood. So, but you can just find these laying around or anywhere. So get yourself a piece of wood, piece of metal, something that's solid to put your jack and jack stand on, so then you won't be stranded out here. Because I've had a few times where I tried to use the scissor jack without a board, and we're in the desert, and the scissor jack just like bends, and so it's very sketchy. So just make sure to heed my warning, and beforehand just make sure that you have these things, so if you do have an issue, then it's not that big of an issue. You can just go about changing it, and you'll be good to go and be back on the road. So hope you guys found this handy. Stay tuned. We'll be bringing you more tips on how to live on the road, how to boondock, all these things. We've been through a lot and everything, so we can share some tips with you guys. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you guys out there.